Now, I want to speak for a minute about boundaries because the Buddha didn't talk about boundaries, and Jesus didn't talk about boundaries, and Confucius didn't talk about boundaries because for men, it's all about getting rid of them, right? In order for a man to soften into his divinity and into his goodness and his softness, he's got to shed those, right? So all of those teachings are about getting rid of all of that. So there's no lesson in there for women. There's no lesson in there for those of us who inhabit the bodies of the weaker species, the weaker version of the species on Earth, right? It's a dangerous theology to say all you should be doing is giving when you are the weaker version of the human species. Dangerous. Dangerous for both is what I want to get across. Dangerous for both. So what is a boundary? A boundary is not a wall. A boundary doesn't need to be aggressive. A boundary is not punitive. A boundary is a certain kind of sacredness that I feel like women never got taught. And what a boundary is, the best description I can think of it is from the great mythologist Joseph Campbell. Joseph Campbell was once being interviewed in the 70s on a TV show, and I think it was Bill Moyers who was interviewing him. And Bill Moyers said, "How does a human being render something sacred?" And he said, it's very simple. Anybody can do it. Any human can render something sacred. All you have to do is draw a circle around it and say, everything inside this circle is holy because I said so. That's how humans make sacred spaces. A temple is a circle. Everything in here is sacred. When you come in here, you take your shoes off, you take your hat off, you touch your forehead to the ground, because once you cross over this line, you're in sacred space. And you react accordingly, and you respect that because you respect the sacred. And somebody drew that line. A human being drew that line and said, over here is sacred, over here is profane, this is holy, this isn't. A boundary is the circle that you draw around something to say that everything within that circle is sacred.
Like and follow The Michael Howell on all platforms for more mind expansion content.